going on, guys? Steve from the Bilsteins here, and today I'm going to show you how to replace the front shocks of your truck. So by far one of my favorite repairs slash parts to replace on any vehicle is shocks, because shocks is what makes it ride really nice or really stiff if you get really stiff shocks and springs and all that. But when they go, I mean, it just gets awful to ride in. So my truck, I actually put in a really cheapy set of about 4 or 5 years ago. They finally gone. Kind of was waiting for that to happen. And now I have to put in new ones. So here's how to do it. So as typical with these trucks, you have your coil spring and shock. And so this couldn't get any easier. So up top here, there are 2 nuts, at least there are on mine, as you can see there. And then you have this 1 nut down there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna undo the 2 up here, and basically the whole shock is kind of gonna fall down. Now, if 1 nut is hard to spin, as you will see right here, there's actually a gap between the bushing and the piece of metal there. That gap is because right now the thing that's kind of holding everything in place is the shock. So what you can do is take your jack and jack up the front, and you'll actually close that gap, making it easier to take off those 2 bolts. So I'm going to take those 2 bolts off, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so here we are. I took the 2 nuts off the top, not 1, but 2, bushing, okay? And as you can see, it dropped right down. It was a little stuck. You just push down the suspension piece there, and the whole thing pops out. Now it's free, it's fully extended, so that now you don't have to compress the shock. There's none of that annoying stuff to do. So you just simply unbolt it here, and it pops right out. So I'm gonna do that, put another one in. All right, guys, here we are. I've got the bolt in the bottom of the shock, but I don't have the top in because I'm gonna show you one last thing just in case someone wants to yell at me for not including the step. So every shock that has a stud sticking up the top, as opposed to like the hole through bolt type, it comes with 2 bushings and a washer. So you put a washer, a bushing, and then bushing, and then a washer. Basically, if you keep this rule of thumb in mind that you don't want metal on metal contact, meaning shock with the frame, then you'll never mess this up. So anyway, that little bit goes right on top there. As you see, there's no stud sticking through, so you're like, man, how do I get that stud to pop up? Well, just compress your suspension by lifting up your jack, and you'll see that stud start to pop through, and then you'll be able to put your nut on there and then screw it down. Now, once you put the nut on, you can compress the suspension some more, screw the nut down, compress the suspension more, screw it down a little more until you're satisfied that the nut won't come off and that these won't rattle on you. I've seen it where they only put it on like a little bit. Once the car compressed, it became so loose at the top you could hear it rattling. So that's it, guys. It doesn't get any more simple than that. As you can see, I installed Bilstein shocks. I will go out on the limb and say this is the best shock you can buy for this truck. And it shows these were about like $86 a piece. Most of your shocks are like 40 and less. But yes, if you go on any forum and say, what can I get for my 90-something Ford F150? They'll go, well, is price an issue? If you say no, they'll say Bilstein. If price an issue, well, you'll have to get like the stuff that I put in there. Okay? But yes, definitely best shock ever. So anyway, guys, that's all for me. So if you like this video, just hit the subscribe icon over here. I've also got some other, videos up here. A good one to look at would be the suspension, the coil spring replacement, because that's kind of related. Otherwise, Steve from the Bilsteins, thanks for watching.